I am very glad to share with you the good news that from now on, from this year on, I am going to load the previous question papers of grade 11 as well as grade 12 on my channel. Because I like to do things the correct way, the straight way, I asked permission to DNA, and actually, let me just make it a bit smaller, to the permanent secretary, asking her if I can, on my channel, put the previous question papers where I do the workout solutions and I explain to students. And I got permission from Mrs. Steenkamp, who's the permanent secretary, that I can do that. Okay. So this is just sharing you the information. I also want to show you another thing before I'm going to start with the question papers. So that is the letter. The other thing that I want to share with you, because in the question papers, I'm always taking you back to the mathematics textbooks y equals mx plus c, because that's what the channel is all about. So this is the brochure, which is telling you more information about all the different textbooks as well as the different posters and everything on it. The second page I want to share also with you, because you can also go, and I want to show it here to you. You can go, and I want even to make it a bit bigger. Okay, I'm just going to move it up. Okay, so you can always go also to my website or press on that QR and also get more information and the prices of the different textbooks. And then the last one I want to share with you, let's just go to documents before I start with the question papers, is that this is the bookshops that buy books from me on a regular basis, which you can go to find a copy of the book if you don't have a copy. This Waltons, this is Ours Valley. They are, I usually, when I'm in Windhoek, I just check and I usually see books there. So you can just go and find. Otherwise, just ask them if they can order it from head office. Then the book 10, Silent Investments. This is more in Windhoek. I think they have Amalia. I think they have in the north also. And also recently, Namkol Bookshops is also buying from me. So you can go and check if you find the textbooks there, y equals mx plus c. Then Kavango Bookshop, that's in Rundu. Bookshop of Namibia, that's more in the north. And then Roka Stationaries, I think this is in Kavango, Katima Malilu. And even the Vundu Bookshop, I think that they are in the Vundu. You can also try to find a copy of the book in that different bookshops. Okay, and now we are ready to start with the question papers. I decided that I will always post the question papers in the beginning of the last holiday before, not the last, maybe the second, a short break before the 4th term. Okay, because that's a good preparation then for the students to prepare them for the final examination. So I'm going to post now for you 2020, that was just grade 11. And in next week, I will, by the end of next week, I will post or load for you the 2021 AS level as well as the grade 11 ordinary examination. Let's start with Mathematics, Ordinary Level, Paper 1, 2020. I think we're just going to concentrate before we start on this first page. This is very important. Always read your first page. So let's just start. I'm just going to bring it down. Candidates answer on the question paper. So it means all the questions must be written on this question paper. Don't ask for extra paper. Don't write on extra paper. Everything on this question paper. Write your center number, candidate number, and name in the spaces at the top of this page. Make sure it's correct. Write in, I just want to get my pen, dark blue or black pen. That's important. You may use a soft pencil for any diagrams or graphs. Do not use correction fluid. No Tipp-Ex. Do not write in the margin for examinations use. It's on this side, on the right-hand side. Can I just say, if you did something incorrect, just draw a line between to show don't check. But please don't do this scratching. No, please. Only a line. Answer all questions. If working is needed for any question, it must be shown below or where working is indicated. The number of marks is given in brackets at the end of each question or part question. Non-programmable calculators may be used. This is the most important now. If the degree of accuracy is not specified in the question and if the answer is not exact. Now, what does exact mean? It means if it stops on the calculator. Say, for example, you have 3 divided 4 and you press it on the calculator, you're going to get 0.75. It stops. Anything that stops and there's still open spaces left, that's exact. Then you can write. So if you say, for example, any big number and it's giving you 0.1255, and now then it's 4 significant figures, but you can leave it because it stopped on its own on the calculator. So give the answers to 3 significant figures, very important, if they don't say anything. If they say, you always go with what the questions say. But if they don't say anything, you go with the front page. Give answers to angles to 1 decimal place. And then for pi, either use your calculator. There's a button on the calculator that you can press, or 3,142. That's just very important that you read through and don't lose unnecessary marks in the question paper. Okay, let's start with question number 1. Just going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, and I think this is so straightforward. Okay, so it's write 7/20 as a decimal. Now, basically what you just do is you just press on your calculator 7 divided by 20 and you get 0,35. That's the exact number. It stops. Write 200,057 in figures. Now first think, make the spaces. 200,000. 1,000 is how many spaces? 3 spaces. So it's a 2 there. But then it's just at the end 57. So it's just 50. It's not 5,700. It's just 57. So the rest of the spaces you fill with zeros. And that's why it's 200,057. And again, you will get a mark just if everything is 100% correct. Okay. Then, Mondi buys, I just want to get my pen correct. Mondi buys 2 books which cost $3.50 each and 3 magazines which cost $90 each. She pays with 5 200 notes. Work out how much change she received. Now, this is also coming from very basic mathematics. But let's just write it. She's buying 2 books, and what is that? $3.50. And she's buying 3 magazines, and what is that? $90. So that is 700 plus the 270, and that's 970. That's what it's costing her. What kind of money? She's having $200, Namibian $200. So how many money does she have? No, I didn't want to put an equal sign there. She's having 1,000. And now I subtract the 970. That's what the till is going to do. And it's going to give you a change of 30. So the new 30 Namibian dollar. Okay, it's not to say, it can be 3 tens, it can be 1 to 10 and 20, doesn't matter. Okay, so where will I get my marks? If I see and they get this, and then for the change of 30. Okay, let's go to the next question. Now, on one day in the desert, the temperature was 24. At midnight, it was cold, -3. Work out the change in temperature between noon and midnight. Okay, so I just take the 24, the highest one, and I subtract. And please don't forget to put your bracket, the 3. Because if you put the bracket, a negative times a negative is a positive. You can even press it on your calculator if you still struggle a little bit with signs. But that will be what? 27. So what is the difference? 27. The maximum minus the minimum. But please put your brackets. Okay. Now, the next one, I'm going to take you. So if I see this, that was very basic. I would almost say 8, 9 primary school mathematics. As soon as I see you are coming to a bit more difficult mathematics, and I can take you to the textbook, I'm taking you to the textbook. So I see they talk about now, and this is now sometimes a bit challenging for students, a non-real, rational, irrational. So I'm going to take you to the textbook and first refresh your memory. Question 5. Okay, here, and I'm going to explain and go through this, because this is the number system and this is nicely in a diagram. Okay, so this is real numbers, and I actually should have put it here. Imaginary numbers, another name for imaginary is non-real numbers. Okay, so that is just another name. Now, what is real? Real is all the numbers that we use in maths calculation at school. So all the numbers that you are going to encounter, even up to ALS level, is going to be real numbers. Okay. As soon as you go further in mathematics, you're going to come to imaginary numbers. And then you're going to find a way to work around this. But working with the eye. But for now, not school mathematics. So as soon as you get something that's giving you, oh, I thought it's the rubber. Okay. That's giving you an error. So you cannot get a negative. Press on your calculator, square root -4. It's going to say maths error. It's not existing in school mathematics. So as soon as you have even numbers there, then it will give you a maths error. But if you go and you press this on the calculator, or you can even say -4, then it's going to give you an answer. And I'm going to press it for you on the calculator. You can trace with me. So I'm going for that root. For me, I must press shift, x to the power 3, then I'm the root. And then I say -4. And I get -1.587. It's existing. I'm getting an answer on the calculator because then it's existing. So all this, where it's odd, any negative, then it's existing. And then it means it's real numbers. Okay, but all the ones that's even there, that's not real. Okay, so I just wanted you to take note of that and not make a mistake there. Okay, now the only thing you still have to know about this is rational and irrational. Now, rational numbers can be written as a vulgar. Vulgar fraction means one on top and one at the bottom. So that, if I said 0.75, and you could have said, oh, that's 75, there's 2 decimal places, it's over 100. I can make it a fraction, and then I can simplify it. That was actually 0.35, I see, 0.35, then it's still the same, 35 over 100. And I can simplify it to 7 over 20. And this one I can simplify to 3 over 4. It doesn't even have to be simplified. If I can put a top and a bottom, then it's a rational number. So everything that stops, this one stops after 7. Okay, this one is stopping after that position. I can make it all rational. Irrational is if you're going to press, and I'm going to show you now, if you're going to press square root 3, I'm getting, for square root 3, I'm getting, I'm going to write it here, 1.732050808, and it's just stopping because there's no more space on my calculator. So it don't stop. So I don't know, must I put it over 2 zeros? Over, in this case, I will put it 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 3 zeros. I don't know because it don't stop. Then it's irrational. You can even go square root 12, press square root 12. I'm getting 3,464101615. It just stopped because there's no more space on my calculator. But all the ones that just continue, that is irrational numbers. Okay, so, and then it divides further. But for now, you just need that. So let's go back to the question paper. Okay, now, the nice thing, you can test most all of them on the calculator. So press on your calculator, square root 8, 1 equals, I get 9. So it's good to first get an answer, get 9. It stops. It's nice. So if it's 9, it's going to be a rational, okay, classified as non-real. So they want you to put everything. So actually, I can say this one is real, but it's not a real. But this one is rational, definitely rational. Luckily, they were nice. They didn't say real. So it's real and rational, but it's not in your list. Okay, then I press cube root, shift, for me x3, it's cube root, 81. I get, and I'm going to write it for you, I get 4,326748711. It just stops because there's no more space on the calculator. And if there's no more space on the calculator, then it's going to be irrational. Okay, and now I press this one, square root negative 81. My calculator say this to me, maths error. And then this is going to be non-real. Okay, so before I go to the next page, I just want to say question 5, I didn't maybe showed you, but that was on page 2. That was on page 2, what I showed you in the textbook of the Namibia y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook, grade 10 and 11. Okay, so it's part 1. So you will get, for this it was just 1, so 1 mark, and then for putting it in the correct position, you will get that 3 extra marks. Okay. Let's go to the next page. Now, if I look at this next page, I see it's sets. Okay, so let's just see, I see they give you E, the universal, they give you the prime, they give you P, and they say complete the Venn diagram. So let's just go first again to the textbook. Let the textbook help us a little bit in that question. So in the textbook, I'm on page 75. It's part 1. Okay, mathematics, grade 10, 11 textbook. And it's chapter 2. Okay. Now, I just want to show you when it comes to a Venn diagram. Example 12. So, they give you the universal set. They give you the numbers from 1 to 10. Then they say, draw a Venn diagram, place the elements in the approximate regions and identify P intersection with Q in each of the following cases. Okay. Now, if you make P and Q, you must make a part that's overflowing. So first you're going to find that numbers that's in here as well as there. So if I look, I see there's 3, and I see 3, and I see 4, and I see 4, and I see 8, and I see 8. Now that is the numbers that I'm going to put in the part that's overflowing. And now I just look, okay, there's still a 1 and a 2, so I put 1 and 2. And then I still see, for this one, there's only a 9. But now I must go to this universal set and I must scratch to see what is still left. Okay, so let's start. 1, I scratch. 2, I scratch. 3, I scratch. 4, I scratch. What was that? 8, I scratch. 9, I scratch. Okay, so what is left? There's a 5, and that's why I write it there. There's a 6 left, and there's a 7 left, and there's a 10 left. And that's how I do it. Okay, so it's really not that difficult. Let's just go back to the question paper. So there's the question paper. There's my question. Let's just go. Okay, let's start filling it in. So there is all the numbers of the universal set, but I must first start with the 2 circles. Okay, now they all the prime numbers. So I must go to this universal set. Just to help me, I'm going to write down the prime numbers. Now, what is the prime numbers? It's numbers that's having 2 factors, the number 1 and the number itself. But 1 is not a prime. It starts with 2, the even one. And, okay, so there's a 2. Then it's 3. It's 1 and 3. That's the only two that can divide. Not 4, because 1, 2, and 4. 5 again. Okay. 6, not. 7, yes. Okay. And then 8, no. 9 is 1, 3, and 9. No, 10 not. So that's the only prime numbers. Now I look what is in both. What is in A as well as B. Just like I did in the textbook. So I see 5 is in both. I don't see another one that's in both. So that means that 5 will be here. But now that means there is still a 2, a 3, and a 7. So 2, 3, 7. And in this one, there is still a 6, a 8, and a 9. And now I must just check if they helped me, but did they really put all the numbers? So let's start. I'm starting with this 2, and I scratch it. Okay, let's rather take yellow. I scratch it. Then I scratch 3. Then I scratch 7. Then I scratch 5. Then I scratch 6. Then I scratch 8. Then I scratch 9. So what is left? I see there's a 1 left. Oh, luckily it's there. There's a 4 left. Yes, it's there. And there is a 10 left. So just make sure that everything is placed. It's either A or B or the rest. Okay. Now, I will start. And I have to go to the different elements. So let's just go to the textbook. So I just go, that's union, because you can throw everything. That's complement. Let's see what the textbook is going to help me in the second one. Now, where am I in the textbook? I'm at page 79, part 1, textbook, and I'm at example 15. I'm still in sets. Okay. Now, this is just to help you how I did this. This can be a bit more challenging, but I want to still explain this to you. They said, shape the region in the Venn diagram, and then they give you something. Now, I said, to make it easier, put numbers, which is the example helps you, and there is numbers in. But let's just see here. So, what I did is I just marked every region. So I just to help myself, I just put a 1 in this, 2, 3, 4, all the regions. And now I start. Now, and as I said, this is far more difficult. It's almost like this part that was asked to you. So I first go and I say, okay, what is A, okay, union with B? So it means all A and B. So it means cover. It's almost like you put something there and you write the rest. So that. So if I put something, it's because that is what that complement means. So it means that is all the numbers, but the rest. And what is the rest? That's 1 there, and it's 8. Okay. Then what is C? Write down all the numbers of C. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then look at that sign. That's intersection. So what is in both? And if I look what is in both, it looks only like 8. Do you see? And then I just shape the region of 8. Okay. So with that in mind, I take you back to the question paper. Okay. Here's the question paper. Now, that I'm saying, oh, I said list the elements. Okay, so it's actually nice. And I say, now don't, it's all these elements, but it's the complements. It's the cover all these elements, and what is the rest? That's the yellow ones. And what was the yellow ones? That was list the elements. They just say list, so you don't have to put it in set, but it doesn't matter. 1, 4, and 10. They're not going to penalize you for that. Okay. So that is the answer, 1, 4, and 10. So for this, I just want to say, for this, putting it in the correct position. So B1 for 2 sections correct. So they was checking, but if all is correct, you would have get 2 marks, and you have to list all 4 of them to get 1 mark. And again, you didn't have to put it in set notation. Okay. Now, very important. What does that little n mean? Again, I'm taking you to the textbook. Okay, let's just go a little bit. And I'm just going down. Okay. I want to show you this, and I don't know if yes, that was just union. That is the amount. The N stands for the amount. It means don't list the elements. It means count how many. So if I was saying to you, and this is the question I want to show you, and I think it's there. I want you to focus. I say, what is N A union with B? It means if you go to this, and I'm just going to make it a bit bigger, and I'm saying to you A union with B, it means all that elements. But I don't want you to write it down. I want you to count them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you write just the total. And that's 6. And that's what I wanted you to see. And I was in the textbook. I was on page 73. But you can go through sets and you will see I described it maybe a little bit. I just used an example now to explain that to you. 73, part 1, mathematics, grade 10, 11, y equals mx plus c. So just count your elements there. Go back to the question. And I'm just checking quickly. I just wanted to see, that was page 75. Just wanted to see where did I explain that to you. Because usually I will that was the complement. And to write the number of elements, I'm just checking quickly. See, where did I say the number of elements? Oh, yes. It was on page 65. I say N indicates the total number of elements in a set. So that was on page 65. Okay, but let's just go back to the question. As I said, as soon as you know what the N stands for, then it's easy. But again, it's good that you write down it here and then just write the answer. So let's first go and we just look at this. Now, A, can I just show you? What was A? A was, now write it down, 2, 3, 5, 7. 2, 3, 5, 7. I just do that to help me. In intersection. What is B's complement? It means cover this and the rest. So what will be the rest? Okay, no, that's not a good color to use. So the rest, so cover that, then it will be 2, 3, my numbers are not good, 1, 4, and 10. Let me just go, because remember what I said, you cover this and you write all this. So the green as well as the yellow. Okay, now it means what is in both. Okay, so what is in both? I see 2 in both. I see 3 in both. And then I see 7 in both. And that's only. But then I count. So I will say N, you can say, I can write it like that, but you can just write the answer. That's 3. That's what they're looking. So don't write the numbers, then you're not going to get your mark. They just look for the 3. Okay. And the 3 is not that 3. It's counting how many is in both. Let's go to the next one. A regular field is 16 meters long and 12 meters wide. Both measurements are given correct to the nearest meter. Calculate the largest possible area of the field. I can already see limits of accuracy. So let's just go to my textbook and let's just refresh your memory a little bit. Okay. I can see it's not just a single number, it's a combined number. So I'm here, I just want to make it bigger, on page 28. Okay. Chapter 1, part 1, mathematics, y equals mx plus c, grade 10, 11. Okay. Now, if there's 2 numbers, and this is a very important table, and as I said, it was on page 28. Now, this is just helping you to understand that. Now, you will always, first, before you do the calculation, you will just find the upper and the lower according to how it was approximated. Then, for the biggest possible answer, when it comes to addition and multiplication, it works like it's supposed to work. So for the biggest answer, it is upper plus upper or upper times upper. Okay. And for the smallest possible answer, it's lower plus, lower plus, oh, I just want to see, this was, oh, no, I'm at addition now. Okay. So I'm just showing you that I just marked incorrectly there. I just show you that that is not, it's the middle numbers. Okay, and for the multiply, it's going to be lower times lower. That works like your logical thinking is think it must work. But it's always subtraction with the red light, division. Okay, it works opposite. So if you want to get the biggest possible answer, okay, and where can I write that? Yes, let me just here. Then the biggest possible answer, I just want to see, okay, yes, here it was. Can I rather put it on the sketch for you? That previous one also. So if I want the lowest possible answer for subtraction, it's lower minus upper. It's a combination. But if you want the lowest, start with lowest. And for the biggest possible answer, if it's subtraction, start with upper and subtract the lower, the opposite one. Okay, so I just wanted to show you before that was just repeating the blue there. That was for the lowest and that was for the upper. Okay, so it's better to see it in the sketch. The same, it's almost like the vision is also that red light. If you want to see, okay, I want to find the smaller division, then if I want the smallest, then it's start with lower, divide the opposite upper. And then if I want the biggest for division, I start with upper and I divide the lower. Okay, so it's opposite. So just keep this summary on page 28 in mind. Okay, but let's see if I have another one example. I think I want to show you another example. Although it's as I said, it's almost like friends. It's like addition is friends with multiplication. They are the blue team. And then the red team is subtraction and division. They play the same game. So they are the red team. Okay. So I want to show you, this is, can I just show you the page? This is on page 31. It's book 1. And it's in y equals mx+c, grade 10-11, part 1. Okay. Let's look at this example. Now, as I said, now, although this example is for addition, it's following the same method in multiplication. They're the blue team. So calculate the upper and lower bounds for the perimeter. Now what is perimeter? It's just going to say it's 2 times the long side, 2 plus 2 times the short side. Okay, but the dimensions are to 2 decimal places. So what I always say is you go, okay, it's 2 decimal places. So then take that and divide that, put a 1 there by 2. So I'm going to every time add for the upper, and now it's 0. I press this on my calculator, 0.05, and I subtract for my lower 0.05. Okay, so before you start any calculation, you find your upper for that number and you find your lower. So you add 0.05, you subtract 0.05, and that's the same. For this one, you add, you subtract, and that's what I showed you here. So this was the lower bound. So this, as I said, this was the lower bound, and this was then the upper of that numbers, okay, which I showed you there, this one. And then this is the lower, okay, of this one, and this is the upper. Now, because I want, what are they asking? Calculate the upper and the lower bounds for the, they want both, okay. So if I want both, so the perimeter, this is the formula. So for the smallest possible answer, I will say lower, 2 lower plus 2 lower. And for the biggest possible answer, 2 upper plus 2 upper. Okay, the 2 is now just part of the formula. Okay, then I will get my answers. So I'm playing it like I said to you, like it's making actually sense. That is the method of the blue team, addition and multiplication. Okay, Now I'm taking you back to the question paper and we're going to play the blue team because it's not subtraction and division, they are the red team. We play blue. Okay, in this question, let me show you why. Because a rectangular field is 16 meters long and it's always good to have a sketch. It's just really going to help you. And they say it's 16 meters long, so I know it's 16 long. And it's 12 meters wide. Both measurements are given to the nearest meter. That if there's not staining something, it's 1 meter. And that is what you divide by 2. And you're going to subtract and add with 0.5. And that's what you do first. So before, you're going to say, oh, I'm going to find your upper and I'm going to find your lower. I'm going to find your upper and I'm going to find your lower. So this one is actually very easy because this one is just going to be now 16.5 and this one is going to be 15.5. Oh, I could have made it the sketch bigger. This one is going to be 12.5 and this one, let's rather do it like this, is going to be 11.5. Okay, so that is first the individual numbers. Now they are saying both measures, okay, calculate the largest. They don't want both. They don't want the smallest and they just want the largest possible area. Do you see area is multiplication? Because what is the area? Area of a rectangle equals length times breadth. So as I said, what is the blue team doing? If they want the largest, then they're going to say upper times upper. And if they want the smallest, they're going to say lower times lower. That's not the method of the red team. Okay, the game plan of the red team. But that's the game plan of addition and multiplication. So I'm just going, and that is my bigger one, 16.5. And look at this, my bigger one is 12.5. And I press it on my calculator and I get 206.25. This is the exact number because it stops on the calculator. And that's why I don't approximate it to 3 significant figures because it stops and it's the exact number. And where will I get? They will give you 2 marks for this because then they see that you got that upper bounds and then for your final answer. So it's really not. I know that some students usually struggle with limits of accuracy, but just get the game plan of the blue, addition and multiplication, and get the game plan of the red, subtraction and division, and always remember to find the upper and the lower bounds before you start the operations.